for Grandma's story time? Do you remember the name of the book we're reading? The Adventures of the Wishing Chair. We're up to chapter 3. Put on your glasses, Grandma. This chapter is called The Grabbit Gnomes. I wonder where they're going. It was such fun to have a real live pixie to play with. Mollie and Peter went to their playroom every day and talked with Chinky, whom they had so cleverly rescued from the giant's castle. He refused to have anything to eat because he said he knew the fairies in the garden and they would bring him anything he needed. They've got fairies in their garden. Chinky, will you do something for us? Asked Mollie. You know we can't be with the magic chair always to watch if it grows its wings. But if you could watch it for us and come and tell us when you see it has wings, then we would rush to our playroom and go on another adventure. It would be lovely if you could do that. Of course, said Chinky, who was the most obliging little fellow. I'll never take my eyes off that chair. Well, will you believe it? That very night, as Chinky was going off to sleep and the playroom was in darkness, he felt a strange little wind blowing from somewhere. It was the chair waving its wings about. Chinky was up in a trice and he ran out of the playroom to the house. He knew which room was the children's and he climbed up an old pear tree and knocked on the window. It wasn't long before Mollie and Peter, each in their warm dressing gowns, were running down to the playroom. They lit a candle and saw the chair's red wings once more. Come on, cried Peter, jumping into the chair. Where are we off to this time, I wonder? Mollie jumped in too, and Chinky squeezed himself in beside them. The chair indeed was very full. It flew out of the door and up into the air. The moon was up, and the world seemed almost as light as day. The chair flew to the south, and then went downwards into a strange little wood that shone blue and green. Can you see them in the picture? They've got their dressing gowns on, their slippers, and there's Chinky sitting in the middle. And you can see the wings of the chair, stars in the sky, and look, they're flying over the houses with their lights on, and the moon is shining. Hello, hello. We're going to visit the Grabbit Gnomes, said the pixie. I don't like that. They grab everything they can, especially things that don't belong to them. We must be careful they don't grab our wishing chair. The chair came to rest in a small clearing near some queer toadstool houses. The doors were great thick stalks, and the windows were in the top part. No one was about. Oh, do let's explore this strange village, cried Mollie in delight. I do want to. Well, hurry up then, said Chinky nervously. If the Grabbit Gnomes see us here, they will soon be trying to grab this and that and the other. The two children ran off to the toadstool houses and looked at them. They really were lovely. Oh, how Mollie wished she had one of them in the garden. It would be so lovely to have one to live in. Whatever is Chinky doing? Said Peter, turning around to look. He's got a rope or something, said Mollie. Oh, don't let's bother about him. Peter, do look here. There are 6 little toadstools all laid ready for breakfast. Fancy! They use them for tables as well as houses. Suddenly, there was a loud shout from a nearby toadstool house. Robbers! Burglars! Someone was leaning out of the window of a big toadstool, pointing to the children. In a trice, all the Grabbit Gnomes woke up and came pouring out of their houses. Robbers! What are you doing here? Robbers! Can you see them? He's leaning out the window and he's pointing. No, they're not, said Chinky, pushing his way through the crowd of excited gnomes. They are only children adventuring here. How did you come? Asked a gnome at once. We came in our wishing chair, said Mollie. And then she wished she hadn't answered, for the Grabbit Gnomes gave a yell of delight and rushed off to where the chair was standing in the moonlight. We've always wanted one! We've always wanted one, they shouted. Come on! Oops, turn the page. Come on, let's take it safely to our cave where we hide our treasures. But it's ours, cried Peter indignantly. Besides, how shall we get back home if you take our chair? But the gnomes didn't pay any attention to him. They raced off to the chair, and soon there wasn't a tiny piece of the chair to be seen, for, to Peter's dismay, all the little gnomes piled themselves into it and sat there, on the seat, the back, the arms, everywhere. Go to our treasure cave, they shouted. The chair flapped its red wings and rose up. The gnomes gave a triumphant yell of delight. We're off! Goodbye! Oh, look, said Mollie suddenly. There's something hanging down from the chair. What is it? It's a rope, said Peter. Oh, Chinky, you clever old thing. You've tied it to the leg of the chair, and the other end is tied to that tree trunk over there. The chair can't fly away. No, said Chinky with a grin. It can't. I know those Grabbit Gnomes. I may not know what is 3 times 7 are, but I do know what robbers those gnomes are. Well, they won't find it easy to get away. The chair rose up high until the rope was so tightly stretched it could go no farther. Then the chair came to a stop. There it hovered in the air, flapping its wings, but not moving forward one scrap. The gnomes shouted at it and yelled, but it was no good. It couldn't go any further. Well, the gnomes are safe for a bit, said Chinky, grinning. Now, what about exploring the village properly, children? So the two spent half an hour peeping into the quaint toadstool houses, and Chinky gave them gnome cake and gnome lemonade, which were perfectly delicious. All this time, the gnomes were sitting in the wishing chair, high up above the trees, shaking their fists at the children and yelling all kinds of threats. They were certainly well caught, for they could go neither up nor down. They were stuck in the chair. Now we'd better go home, said Chinky suddenly, looking to the east. Look, it will soon be dawn. Now listen to me. I'm going to pull that chair down to earth again with your help. We will pull it down quickly and it will land on the ground with such a bump that all the gnomes will be bumped off. While they are picking themselves up, we will jump into the chair and off we go. Good idea, grinned Peter. So he and Mollie and Chinky went to the rope and pulled hand over hand. The chair came down from the air rapidly, and when it reached the ground, it gave such a bump that every single gnome was bumped off. Oh, they cried, you wait, you wicked children! But they didn't wait. Instead, the 3 of them jumped into the chair and Peter called out, Take us home, please! Before the Grabbit Gnomes could take hold of the chair, it had risen up into the air. But the gnomes pulled at the rope, and down came the chair again. Quick, cut the rope, Peter shouted to Chinky. Poor Chinky. He was feeling in every one of his many pockets for his knife, and he couldn't find it. The gnomes pulled hard at the rope, and the chair went down still further. And then Chinky found the knife. He leaned over the chair arm, slashed at the rope, and cut it. And at once the chair bounded back up into the air, free. Home, home, sang Peter, delighted. I say, talk about adventures. Every one seems more exciting than the last. Wherever shall we go next? And that's the end of chapter 3. Come back again and we'll read more. Chapter 4. Goodbye.